Monday afternoon in Athens, and we welcome you to Stegman Coliseum for a top 20 gymnastics matchup. The Iowa State Cyclones making the trip to the Classic City to face off against the 18th ranked Georgia Gym Dogs. These teams saw each other twice last season. Jay Renane, in his 14th season at Iowa State, has got a team that he thinks, Sarah, can come in here to Georgia and leave with a win. He feels that highly about his team as we look at Courtney Kupets-Carter trying to get her team on track. Number 8 in the preseason. They come in today, number 18. Both of these teams, I think, still at this point in the season looking to put a complete meet together.
Absolutely, and both coaches absolutely loving what they're seeing in the gym. They're looking for some consistency and to build some momentum here in Stegman today.
Georgia will get it started on vault as we look at the last of the touch warm-ups. We'll get a look now at the Georgia vault lineup. It begins with freshman Amanda Cashman, followed by Abby Ward, Michaela McGee, Sabrina Vega, Soraya Hawthorne, and Rachel Lucas. Georgia last week 49-3-2-5 against LSU. Sarah, really they put together 3 great rotations. Bars has been a struggle. We'll talk some more about that, but I think they feel like vault can get them off to a good start here at home.
They can definitely start and build that momentum here on vault. They have a lot of power and a lot of potential on this event. They'll need to go big, but also find those landings.
It begins with freshman Amanda Cashman out of Belmead, New Jersey. She had a 9.8 last week in her first career routine at Stegman. You got to imagine for a freshman, that's a lot of nerves competing here at home for the first time, and she's trying to settle in and get this day started now for the Gym Dogs.
Starting off here with the Yurchenko full. And it's a great landing, just a small hop back, really honing in on that power that she has. This is an athlete that is capable of a Yurchenko 1.5, which has that 10.0 start value, but here showing a clean full, just a small hop, and that should be a good score to start off the Georgia Gym Dogs.
Georgia, by the end of this year, probably has 5 gymnasts that can have 10.0 starts on vault. We won't quite see that today as they build to it, and now we get our first look at Iowa State. There's their bars lineup. We'll lead things off with Maddie Langkamp.
Starting with a hop to a piked Jaeger. Really looking to hit those handstands. Nice shoot over to the low bar. A little bit short on that last handstand. Setting up for the dismount now. And it's a good double layout, small step forward, but a great start for Iowa State.
Iowa State, statistically, bars has been their best event. They've been over 49 both times. So, Sarah, this is, again, critical for the visiting Cyclones to get off to a good start today.
Absolutely, and I think that they've done that with a good hit routine. They'll want to build from there.
We get ready to go back over to vault now for sophomore Abby Ward. She had a career high last week of a 9.9 here at home.
Now this is a vault that you won't see from many gymnasts. A Sukahara full in the laid out position in a fantastic landing. She's going to be really happy with that one. You'll notice that this is different than the traditional Yurchenko vault that you see a lot. Nice stretched out body position in the air, and she found that landing.
And unlike the Yurchenko layout full, which starts from a value of 9.95, the Sukahara full starts from a full 10.0. You'll take the deductions from there as you see the first score pop up in the bottom corner of your screen. That was a 9.825 from Amanda Cashman. That is a new career high for the freshman. And we'll go over to Cassandra Diaz for Iowa State, who will be up second as soon as we get the score for Maddie Langkamp. Iowa State down 1 spot in this week's rankings to number 13. They were 12 last week, which was their highest ranking since the 07 season.
Starting out with a nice handstand right on top of the bar. Blind change to a straddle Jaeger. Throughout the season, she'll be looking to get a little bit more height and amplitude on that release move. Back up to the high bar. A bit short on that last handstand. Double layout dismount, and a great landing. She's setting up, has a little bit unique technique on those giants, but is able to find that landing and get a second hit routine for her team.
So a good clean start on both sides. as you see Michaela McGee up third. The score comes up for Abby Ward, a 9.85.
Yurchenko full. Big hop back on that landing. Coach Kupets-Carter said that she wants her team to go big and really show their power, but still find those landings. Michaela wasn't quite able to find the landing here today, but she's showing potential for what she could do later in the season, upgrading that vault.
Yeah, she's got the potential to go 1.5, and you can see the kind of power. I think that's a mistake you're okay with week 3. Week 7, 8, 9, probably you want to see that reined in a little bit, but it's big gymnastics, and I think that's the key right now for Coach Kupets-Carter and Georgia. And now we'll get our first look at sophomore all-arounder Anna Palacios. She's got a lot of talent for this Iowa State team. She missed most of her freshman season, so she's got numbers for the first time behind her training. We'll see her on 4 events today, and she could really be a big key for this Cyclones team.
Her coaches brag on her and say that she's an incredibly humble athlete, and they have to remind her just how good she is and how much she can contribute to this team.
Now, one of the interesting things, we've talked about Iowa State's success, they are without Ariana Orrego, who would be in the all-around for them. She's taking the year off to compete for her native country of Peru in the Olympics. Talk some more about that, but Palacios stepping in and filling a pretty big role here.
Starting off with a nice piked Jaeger, reaching for those handstands to get right on top of the bar, eliminating those deductions. College gymnastics is all about handstands and sticks, and she was able to get the handstands, but can't quite pull off the stick and has to put those knees down on the double A at dismount.
Looked like she just lost her grip there and kind of flung herself off of that bar on the dismount. We'll get another look here.
Now you want to see the toes go up and the hips rise above the bar, and she just didn't get enough height to be able to rotate that double layout position around.
So that's really the first break on either side. That'll be the number that Iowa State would look to drop if they can hit their next 3. Meanwhile, we'll go back to vault for senior Sabrina Vega.
Yurchenko layout full, and it's a great vault, a hop back on the landing, but a lot of power she's showing today. You can see that she really got a lot of distance on the entry onto the table, maybe more than she was used to, and had to take that hop back on the landing.
Vega still coming back from some flu symptoms that held her out off of a couple of events at the beginning of the year. She won't compete bars today, though she's been in and out of the bars lineup. We'll see Vega on 3 events, but you know when she is at her best, especially on beam and floor, she can go with anyone in the country. Now following a fall for the first time, this is Laura Burns. Her season best, a 9.85. And Iowa State could use some big numbers now, trying to drop a early fall from Anna Palacios.
And as a senior, this is who you want up next in the lineup. She has the experience. She knows what she needs to do to get her team back on track. Setting up for the mount here. Great handstand to start off the routine, and a nice high ray. That's exactly what you want to see. Good toe hand, fighting a little bit with that arch in the back, but keeping the routine together nicely so far. Great last handstand. Setting up for the dismount. And it's a full twisting double layout with a great landing. That is exactly what this team needed.
You called it, Sarah, the exact right person to have up in the lineup in this spot, and well, that's just beautiful.
That ray is exactly what you want to see, hips above the bar, and same thing with that full twisting double layout. A lot of difficulty to see in college gymnastics. It's just exciting to watch.
And speaking of difficulty, here's our first look at freshman Soraya Hawthorne, who's got some real potential on this event, a lot of power.
Yurchenko layout full, nice stretched body in the air, had to take that hop. They'll be looking to really hone in on those landings, but I'm liking the power that I'm seeing from these Georgia vaults.
And we know that Hawthorne has power. She's got a Yurchenko double full in her arsenal, and we may see that at some point later on in this season. One vaulter left for Georgia, that is Rachel Lucas, and we'll go back to bars now. Freshman Jade Vela Wright very international roster for Iowa State. Vela Wright hails from Australia. Season best, a 9.775 in the season opener at Arizona.
We talked a little bit about how they're trying to reach that 197 mark. They'll need to hit these next few routines to be able to drop that fall. Let's see if the freshman can handle the pressure. Starting with a toe off chapache, straight back down to the low bar with a pack salto. You can see the toes and the knees glued together with the chapache half back up to the high bar. Little short on that handstand. Full twisting double back and a stuck landing. That was a super clean routine. I think she's so excited she forgot to salute to the judges. You'll see this pack salto, just beautiful stretch body position, fantastic form. Watch how high she gets above the bar in that full in dismount, and her feet just don't move.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we got to look at her celebration pre-salute there. She didn't look like a freshman on the bar, but maybe that's where the freshman mindset creeps in a little bit there.
There's always room for improvement.
Here's Rachel Lucas in the anchor position for Georgia.
Wow, and a huge Yurchenko double twist. Sticks that landing. Just beautiful from Rachel. Now you'll see that she doesn't quite get the distance from the horse that you'll want to see. That's something that she can work on back in the gym, but she's finally found that landing at the end of the vault lineup for the Georgia Gym Dogs.
It looked like she got herself a little bit off center on the table on that block, and maybe that accounted for a little bit of that, but boy, she still had enough power to twist that thing around twice and land it. Georgia already over a 49. You can see their score there. That is before Rachel Lucas's score. The low number for Georgia that they could drop is a 9.725, so that may tick up slightly. And in the anchor spot for Iowa State now is junior Natalia Ross-Vicaire.
You can notice these beautiful lines that you're seeing. Her bar work is just exquisite. Those toes and knees tight together. Every element is stretched. She'll be looking to get this last handstand right on top. Nicely done. Setting up for the dismount. And it's a double layout, and she finds the landing as well. Sticky feet are going around in Segment Coliseum.
Boy, that is one heck of a response from Iowa State after the fall from Palacios. Burns Vela Wright, and Ross-Vicaire just knocked it out. Great finish there. That bottom three in the Iowa State bars order, they can go toe-to-toe with anyone. We're going to get an exhibition routine, we believe, on both sides here in this first rotation. We'll get a look at sophomore Rachel Bauman for Georgia.
And it's a Yurchenko full. It's good to get that out in the Coliseum setting and a competition setting. Nicely done by her. She'll be working on getting a little bit more block off the table, twisting a little bit later, and landing with her chest up higher.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for both sides to showcase a little bit of depth here, and we're going to go over to Iowa State for an exhibition now with Logan Boswell.
These exhibition routines are a great way for underclassmen to get in a lineup and get a feel for the competition arena, but also maybe for people who aren't underclassmen to just get a little bit of practice on an event that maybe they haven't competed previously in college gymnastics.
An extra moment or two here as the judges work on the scores for Natalia Ross-Vicaire, who is in the anchor spot for Iowa State, delivered a phenomenal routine. And we hear a big cheer go up from the Iowa State team, and rightly deserved. Ross-Vicaire, how about this, a new career-high 9.925.
Way to come in for the end of your lineup and just deliver under pressure.
We'll see a big jump in that Iowa State team score in just a moment, but here is Boswell.
Beautiful handstand to start off, blind change to straddle Jaeger. She gets well above that high bar. Shoot over, didn't quite make that handstand position, but nice and clean form. That's something that I love to see from this Iowa State team. You can tell that they are really paying attention to detail and working for every 10th of a point. Full in dismount, a little close to that high bar, but a great landing.
And you can see a reason that Jay Renane has led his team to a top 13 ranking on the uneven bars. Iowa State finishes in fine form, and we'll be back in just a moment with rotation number 2. One rotation in the books on this Monday afternoon in Stegeman Coliseum between the Iowa State Cyclones and the Georgia Gym Dogs. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Kevin Kopp alongside Sarah Persinger Sailors. Sarah, while we have a moment, let's take a look back at the first 2 weeks of the regular season. Already a couple of meets under both of these teams' belts and some mixed results on both sides. We'll start with Iowa State. Jay Renane loves this team and thinks that they've got an incredibly high ceiling. He hasn't seen them put it all together yet, even though these are pretty good scores for Iowa State in their first 2 meets of the season.
Yeah, they haven't been able to surpass that 49.1 mark on any event so far, so they'll be looking to improve each event steadily each week so that they can get that 197 mark in the all-around.
And for Georgia, the story has been similarly some inconsistency. They put up some higher numbers against LSU than they did in the Week 1 Critique Classic down in Florida, but bars has been the missing event for Georgia both of these first 2 weeks.
And Coach Krupetz-Carter says she likes what she sees in the gym on bars, just needs to put it all together in a meet situation. So they'll be looking to improve on bars today and put 24 for 24 routines together.
Yeah, you see those LSU scores. That could have been something really special if Georgia didn't have to count that fall on bars in the second rotation. And remember that Georgia is doing all of this without who was supposed to be one of the anchors of this team, their senior all-arounder Rachel Dixon. You look at what she has done for this Georgia team throughout her career, Sarah, it's hard to state just how big a loss this is for the Gym Dogs.
28 out of 29 of her last meet, she competed in the all-around. So this team is definitely feeling that loss, and they'll be looking to their underclassmen to really step up and fill her shoes in the consistency that she brought to this team.
Well, we said bars has been the problem for Georgia. We'll see if the Gym Dogs can solve that issue here in Week 3. Second rotation on the way. Iowa State to vault, Georgia to bars when we continue. Welcome back. We are all tied up through one rotation. Iowa State and Georgia each with a 49-2. There's a look at Suzanne Yochlin, 10-time NCAA champion head coach of the Georgia Gym Dogs. Still odd to see her watching from the stands and not on the floor, isn't it, Sarah?
It is a little odd, but we love to see her presence here in Stegeman. She just carries that championship attitude with her everywhere that she goes.
You can tell she's having some fun taking a look at this one as we get ready for the second rotation. Iowa State to vault, Georgia to bars, and there's a look at the Cyclones vault lineup. Begin with redshirt senior Sydney Converse, Anna Palacios, Phoebe Turner, Kelsey Boychuk, Sophia Steinmeier, and in the anchor spot, redshirt freshman Michaela Maxwell. Converse from just down the road in Stone Mountain, Georgia, so you know she's got to love this in her redshirt senior season to get to come back to Athens. She got a big cheer during the starting lineups.
Starting off this vault lineup with a nice Yurchenko layout full and a good landing, just a small hop back, but great distance off of the table.
Iowa State trying to build on a season-high bar score, and this is a great start to their vault lineup.
You can see how...
We'll go to bars now for Georgia. Rachel Lucas, after anchoring vault with a 9.875, will lead off here, followed by a couple of freshmen, Amanda Cashman and Luli Hadaway. Megan Roberts, Haley DeYoung, and Marissa Oakley rounded out.
She's starting off this bar lineup with a nice Tkachev. Clear hip down to the low bar with a pack salto. Quite on top of the bar in that half turn. Needing to work on those handstands just to work for every tenth that you can, but a great double layout dismount, just a small hop on the landing, and Georgia will be happy with starting off with a routine like that. Now you can see when she does this Tkachev, she just gets her hips over the bar. You want to look for hips above the bar, a nice high flying position. Same thing on those dismounts.
We've mentioned bars has been a struggle for Georgia this year. They've been in the low 48s each of their first 2 meets, so not as good as they might like from Rachel Lucas, but it's a fine table to be set here, and they'll look for some big numbers out of their last 5 as we go to Anna Palacios up second on vault for Iowa State.
Another Yurchenko full. Nice landing, not quite the distance that you want to see off of that vault table. A little pikey in the air. That's something that she can work on when she gets back into the gym. You see she comes onto the table a little crunched and doesn't quite get that stretch in the air. You want to look for a nice straight board position throughout that twist.
That's following the opening score. You can see on your screen there a 9-8 from Sydney Converse. Up second for Georgia here is Amanda Cashman. Back-to-back freshmen and 3 overall in today's bars lineup. Sabrina Vega out, and Luli Hadaway will be in the 3rd spot. So this is an interesting look at the youngest of Georgia's 4 lineups today.
They're definitely getting their experience early on in their gym dog careers. Starting with a great handstand on top of the bar. Nice fight, flying to Kachev. Fighting for that second handstand, had to arch over, break form. That'll be a deduction. Let's see if she can hold it together. Better on that last handstand. Setting up for the dismount now. And it's a double layout. Great stuck landing. Nice way to recover from a small break in the center of the routine.
I say, especially for a freshman, you've got to give her a lot of credit for being able to battle through that right there, not break, and then really finish the routine strong.
Setting up nicely for that dismount. Toes a little bit apart in the air. Legs coming apart. That could be just some of those freshman jitters that she'll need to work out.
And that's after you can see an opening 9.75 from Rachel Lucas. Back over now to Phoebe Turner.
Yurchenko layout full again. Big hop back on the landing. Didn't quite get any distance off of the vault. That's definitely something that these gymnasts can work on, getting that block and the height and distance. Had to take a large hop back.
Turner's been pretty solid on this event this season with a 9.8 and a 9.85 so far. We'll see if she can get this one up there. And a look now at Luli Hadaway, walk-on from the state of Georgia, out of Blakely down in South Georgia. So she has her chance for the first time to compete here at Stegman Coliseum. She was in the opener down in Florida, not in the lineup last week, and you know this has to be special for her. You grow up here in the state of Georgia to get to compete for the first time as a gym dog in Stegman Coliseum.
Absolutely. This is a moment that she will never forget. Hopefully she can put together a clean routine to make that memory even sweeter. Hip pass to start. Giant full into a ginger. Had to separate her legs on that ginger release. Shoot over down to the low bar. Really needs to focus on gluing those ankles together. Great last handstand to set up for her dismount. Double layout, hop back on the landing, but she does it. Puts together a nice clean routine to start out her Stegman campaign. That giant full to the ginger. Legs had to come apart. That's something that the judges can see from the side, so they'll take that deduction as well as that hop back on the landing, but otherwise, nice hit routine.
Georgia halfway through on bars. Same for Iowa State on vault. Here's Kelsey Boychuk.
And it's another Yurchenko out full. Much better landing this time. Had to take a hop still, but she will be happy with that vault.
And Iowa State, in all likelihood, is going to run 6 Yurchenko fulls. And so you've got 6 vaults starting from a 9.95. There's not as much of that margin for error as Georgia had with a couple of 10.0 vaults. So it's really a premium on being clean. And so far, more or less, they've done that. We could see if we'll get some bigger vaults in the back half of their lineup.
Definitely, and the coaches talked about how they're really focusing on working the details in the gym. They've got a lot of depth, a healthy competition within the team when they're in practice, so working on cleaning up those little details so that they can really climb towards that 197 goal.
Here's Megan Roberts. Had an issue in her first bars routine down in Florida, bounced back with a 9.75 last week, but capable of going big on this event. She's got a career best 9.9, and here is the sophomore up 4th.
Starting off with a great handstand, toe on to Shapashnikova, and immediately back down to the low bar with a shoot over. Great last handstand. Setting up for the dismount, this is where she had a little bit of trouble. Put her knees down, no problem today with a stuck landing. She is excited about that one.
And it's woken up this near sellout Stegman crowd just a little bit.
You can see her get right on top of the bar here, setting up for the dismount. She gets that rise, that stretch body position, and the feet don't move.
Back over to vault now for Sophia Steinmeier.
Oh, and we see a 1.5 with a small hop on the landing, but there's that 10-0 start value vault that we were talking about.
I want to retract my earlier statement. I apologize there. There's a big 1.5 from Steinmeier.
Just a little bit of knees and some sloppiness in the air, but love to see gymnasts coming out and putting that 10-0 start value on the competition floor.
Now a look at freshman Haley DeYoung, the third freshman of 6 in this Georgia Bars lineup.
Looking to keep the momentum going here. Nice handstand on top of the bar. Toe on to Ray. Another great handstand. Legs glued together on that shoot over. You can see how much attention she gives to her form. And even as a freshman, you can tell that she has a maturity about her gymnastics. Double layout dismount, and she will be thrilled with that one, keeping the momentum going for these Georgia Gym Dogs.
Yeah, following a big score from Megan Roberts, put Haley DeYoung in a great position, and she capitalized.
Great double layout dismount, and once again, sticky feet are going around.
You can see there Megan Roberts, new career high 9.925, just what Georgia needed. And now in the anchor spot, redshirt freshman Michaela Maxwell.
Capping off this vault lineup with another Yurchenko 1.5 and an excellent landing from the redshirt freshman. This team is pumped up about that one.
That's great. Last week it was a full, so she had the upgrade in there, pulls it out here in Stegman and delivers. Both Steinmeier and Maxwell finish with Yurchenko 1.5s.
Which is super impressive for this team to come off of a short weekend. They just had a meet a few days ago. They had to turn around and put it on for a Monday afternoon meet, and that is just great to see.
Yeah, we talked with Jay Ronayne before this meet and said that he was thinking about some lineup changes, give some folks some rest. Now he's rolling out there with the same 24, and they're delivering. Now the bars anchor for Georgia, Marissa Oakley.
No problems on that eagle grip Jaeger. Last week she had a fall there, so it's great to see her come back, showing no signs of trouble. Marissa is known for her impeccable form. You'll see that her toes and knees are just absolutely glued together. She's got one of the most beautiful toe points. Setting up for full-in dismount, and it's a stuck landing for Marissa.
That is the Marissa Oakley bars routine that Georgia has been missing so far this season, and she delivers here. You're so right, Sarah. You get that stick from Megan Roberts, then DeYoung, and it does seem to be contagious, and Oakley followed suit.
It is absolutely contagious amongst these athletes. They see another girl hit and they get fired up to do their job.
Yeah, it's really been an uncharacteristically difficult start for Oakley. She's had a shoulder injury, which has limited some numbers, and she brought it back there. Here's Laura Cook in exhibition for Iowa State.
It's great to see that vault get out on the floor for her. She'll be looking to get back in the gym, work on that block off the table, and just improve throughout the season.
A lot to be pleased about on both sides. Both of these teams on a season-high pace right now, and we'll see if they can keep it up. We're halfway home here at Stegman Coliseum. Back with more in a moment. Welcome back inside Stegman Coliseum. Here are your scores through 2 rotations. Both teams going to be pleased right now on season-high paces, but Georgia with the edge, leading by 1/10 and a quarter after vault and bars. I'm Kevin Kopp alongside former Georgia Gym Dog Sarah Persinger Sailors. Sarah, great start on both sides. Iowa State has come out and executed quite well on the road, and Georgia finally seems like they may have turned the corner on bars and solved some of the issues on that event.
I think both teams are doing exactly what they set out to do. We've seen some minor mistakes from Georgia, but nothing like we've seen in the past. They're definitely turning the corner, put together a great bars rotation, and are continuing to build some momentum.
Well, let's take a look at some highlights from the first two rotations, and you have to give the Cyclones credit for coming out in front of 10,000 people on the road. Not an easy thing to do, and they got off to a great start with a season high on bars.
Iowa State showing some incredible form and great landings on bars to really build up that 49.2 mark. Same with Georgia. We love to see the form, the big gymnastics, high releases, and stuck landings on dismounts.
Yeah, that was the routine that turned the corner for Georgia on bars, that 9.925 for Megan Roberts. And how about this from Iowa State and Michaela Maxwell?
Huge 1.5 twist, Yurchenko, and a great landing. She is pumped with that one.
We'll take a look at some of the best individual performers through two rotations. That vault from Michaela Maxwell you just saw scored a 9.95 for Iowa State. And on bars, Natalia Ross-Becker shares the bars title with Marissa Oakley and Megan Roberts, who both had 9.925s. Oakley has had some struggles on that event early this season, but turned it on in the anchor spot for Georgia, and it adds up to a 98.475 for the Gym Dogs, 98.350 from Iowa State. We're back with the third rotation momentarily. Iowa State to floor and Georgia to beam when we continue. We're at the midpoint of today's meet with Georgia in the lead, 98.475 for the Gym Dogs, just a shade off a 197 pace. Iowa State right there behind at 98.350. Look at the series history between these two teams. Georgia has been undefeated against Iowa State in the history of these two programs, 12-0 all time. Last season, Iowa State ended up coming to Athens twice. They had the regular season meet in this same meet this Monday afternoon on Martin Luther King Day, and they also got assigned here in the NCAA Regional. And Sarah, Jay Renane was pretty clear about he loves bringing his team to Stegman Coliseum.
Well, he loves the fact that Stegman Coliseum is full of gymnastics-educated fans. They know the sport, they know what to look for, and they know the right times to cheer. And this is the type of atmosphere that you want to get your team inside of for that experience for later down the road in championship settings when the crowd is loud and excited. Yeah,
when you've got the defending national champions in your conference, you need to be battle-tested, as they will be when Iowa State goes to face Oklahoma in a few weeks. Here's the Georgia Beam lineup, and it will be Michaela McGee to lead things off. Following her, Rachel Lucas, Haley DeYoung, Marissa Oakley, Rachel Bauman, and Sabrina Vega.
Michaela starting off with a nice leap series. You can look for that 180-degree split that the gymnast will have to reach to avoid deduction and to get credit for those leap series. Setting up now for her series, 2 back handsprings to a layout step out. Nice solid start for the sophomore. Full turn, that required element that every athlete has to perform.
Michaela began her sophomore season with a new career high, 9.875 down in Kissimmee.
Finishing with a round-off 1.5 twist dismount, just a small hop on the landing, but that's exactly what you want to see from your leadoff performer on balance beam.
Now, we've talked about both of these teams coming into this rotation with some momentum based off of their great work in the second, and Michaela McGee keeps it going for Georgia.
Just a little off-center on that dismount, a small hop, but the only visible mistake in the entire routine.
And now a look at the Iowa State floor lineup, beginning with Maddie Langkamp. Cassie Diaz up second, Maddie Diab third, Sydney Converse fourth, Andrea Maldonado will be one to keep an eye on in that 5th spot, and then Anna Palacios will be up 6th.
Floor gives these athletes an opportunity to really let their personality show, kind of bust out of that bubble and have some fun. Starting off her floor routine with a whip to double back and a great landing. You can see her teammates getting on the sideline. A lot of these athletes learn each of their teammates' floor routines and do them along with them as they compete. It's pretty fun to watch. Once again, looking for that 180-degree split in those heat series. Setting up for the next tumble pass. Front layout to front half, split jump. Leaping out of these passes is one way that these athletes try to minimize those landing deductions and save every tenth that they can. Finishing with a double back, and it's a great landing. She'll be able to gain that bonus that the NCAA is rewarding these athletes with, now finishing with a double back at the last pass.
And a great job to open up the floor rotation for Iowa State. Langkamp had a career high 2 weeks ago on the road at Arizona, and it's tough to do sometimes to bring that energy on the road, but Maddie does an excellent job here to start things off with the Cyclones. Back over to Georgia on beam after an opening 9.85 from Michaela McGee. Here she stuck that landing last time in Stegman, but had to take a step this time. Yeah, but there is that power that you talked about, a way to kind of marry that to the beam routine, and she's only going to get more comfortable as she gets more competition reps on that event. After an opening 9.85, new career high for Maddie Langkamp, here is senior Cassandra Diaz.
I saw her lose her balance a little bit as the music started. She had to take a small step just as her routine was beginning. But recovers nicely with a nice high double tuck and a great landing. She really has fun with this routine and performs it all out. Really letting that personality shine through. Setting up for her second tumbling pass. Front layout to a front full, and it's a good landing, a little bit off center from the corner. Nothing too bad. Final tumbling pass here. So round off double pike. Great landing, and once again getting that bonus for finishing with a double back. Very interesting that she doesn't do a back handspring before that double pike, something that you don't see often. So in this first tumbling pass, she sets up the double tuck with the back handspring. But in that last pass, straight from the round off, you have to generate a lot of power, especially at the end of the routine, to get that around.
I was going to say, especially at, we're in week 3 where sometimes you still talk about conditioning and fitness. That is not an issue for Cassandra Diaz. Great finish there and a great start for Iowa State through 2 floor routines. Back over to beam now, and a look at freshman Haley DeYoung.
Really showcasing her artistry and her confidence with a nice leap series, smiling and having some fun with this beam routine. Front aerial to double switch jump. You can see how she really finishes every single move from her fingertips to her toes. Handspring layout, absolutely solid on that series. Something interesting that she brings to this beam routine as well is doing that jump starting from the sideways position. It's always great to see these athletes bring some uniqueness to their routine. Ending with a side aerial to back full dismount, and she sticks that landing. A lot of confidence coming from this freshman.
And this is a great sign for Georgia. They got her into the bars lineup, career high 9.875. She's been on beam where she's been great. This is really big. She had an ab strain in the fall, was limited in her numbers there, but she adds so much if they can get her going. And we'll go back over to floor for freshman Maddie Diaz.
Starting off her routine with a front handspring double full to punch pike. Nice tour jeté to straddle full. Something interesting, especially for these freshmen as they come into these away coliseums, is, you know, they're performing their floor routines right in front of the Georgia student section. So that can either give you a lot of confidence or it can make you want to shy away and maybe not go full out. But I love to see Iowa State really performing these routines and enjoying themselves. Again, leaping out of that second pass to try to minimize those landing deductions, but she didn't quite get enough height on that jump. The judges might take a little bit there.
Yeah, to your point, Sarah, she had to open up her career on floor at Arizona, struggled there, had a 9.3, bounced back at home last week with a 9.825, so that does show you what she's capable of.
Doing great here, finishing with a Rudy, the back layout, step out. A lot of height on that last pass. She'll be really happy with that one.
Iowa State on the road. We're halfway through the third rotation, and they are not blinking right now, staring down the Gym Dogs here at home.
Nice height on that layout step out. Just a tiny hop, but really minimizing those landing deductions.
Over to beam now. Marissa Oakley with the best bars routine of her season. See if she can follow suit on the balance beam where she has a season high 9.825.
Starting off her routine with a wolf turn. That's something very common in elite gymnastics. Showcasing her flexibility. Setting up here for a triple series. This is new to her routine this year. Handles it very well with a nice solid finish. Leap series, you can see that she takes her eyes off of the beam, and anytime that you lose sight of the balance beam, that's added difficulty. She handles it well there. Great side aerial, really bringing some sharpness to this beam routine. Not leaving any doubt in the judges' minds. Just the dismount, the gainer full, small hop on the landing, but she will be really excited about that routine.
Yeah, it seems like Oakley here has turned a little bit of a corner. She had a really uncharacteristic day last Friday against LSU. Two good ones here.
You can tell by that smile.
Oakley hits on bars and beam. Now over to floor for redshirt senior Sydney Converse. How about this? 9.875 from Diab. That's a new career high. So we've had 3 season highs already in 3 routines from Iowa State. 2 of those are career bests.
Sydney starting with a huge double Arabian. It's great to see these gymnasts working in those E tumbling passes, including that difficulty. It's a 1.5 through to a double full. A little bit of trouble on that landing. Maybe just wasn't quite sure of where she was in the air, but able to cover up nicely. Teammates having some fun with her there in the background. Let's see if she can recover from that little mistake in the middle and finish strong. And it's a Rudy with a good landing. She really brings a lot of difficulty to this routine, so maybe just a few more weeks, a little bit more practice, building that endurance, and she'll be able to really go out and score big with that routine. You see she's starting here with that double Arabian, huge air, and a great landing. It's great to see.
Yeah, just that second pass that gave her trouble there, so that may snap the streak of season-high scores for Iowa State. They've got 2 left, Andrea Maldonado and Anna Palacios. Over to beam, following a 9.85 for Marissa Oakley, here is Rachel Bauman.
We talk about bringing some uniqueness to your routines, and Rachel does that in beam. She does some things that you don't typically see from all of the athletes. You see a lot of back handspring layouts, but Rachel opts to do something a little bit different. You'll see it here. It's a side aerial to a back layout. Nice solid landing. Again, starting her full turn with her leg up, something you don't often see. Beautiful switch side. You can just see the confidence oozing out of her. Setting up for the dismount here. Round off, 1.5, and she sticks the landing.
Great job there from Rachel Bauman, who has been locked in on this event this year, but she has just taken it to another level. She's had back-to-back 9.875s to start the season. It was a 3rd straight great routine.
Capitalizing there with that stuck landing. We've seen a lot of those today.
Well, that'll be the biggest thing for 2 teams that were stuck in that 195, low 196 range. That's the easiest way to get those scores up in a hurry, is stop giving away those tenths on landings. Back to floor now. The low number so far, that 9.7 from Sydney Converse, but here is Andrea Maldonado, who is absolutely one to watch on floor. Anytime you've got a skill name for you in the Coda points, you're one to keep an eye on.
Starting with a front 2.5. Really selling this choreography. And it's a double full to punch front, really showing her capability to twist front. That's something else that you don't see a ton. I love the variety of skills that we're seeing here today.
This was another one of those routines that Jay Renane said Maldonado has an elite background that they had to water down a little bit for NCAA gymnastics, but he described her as the best pure athlete on this Iowa State roster.
She's actually capable of a front triple full on the floor. Finishing here with a double pike. You can just see the power that she gets on that. That'll be a fantastic routine for this team to put in the book. You can see that twisting ability starting here, front handspring. Look at the height and the speed that she gets on those twists. Finishing with a double pike, giving nothing away.
Yeah, and that front handspring layout triple twist is the Maldonado, so she's got that in her arsenal. Power to spare, and she's got Iowa State back into it here after the 9-7 from Sydney Converse. And here in the anchor position for Georgia on beam, Sabrina Vega.
You talk about a gymnast who just embodies confidence. Sabrina has been in plenty of situations where it came down to her in the anchor position on beam, and she has delivered time and time again. Let's see if she can do so today. Starting with a front aerial to split jump, really showcasing that flexibility. And the all too famous moonwalk. You hear the crowd, they get into it every single time. Setting up here for her acrobatic series by handspring, layout, step out, and it is solid. Full turn. All that's left is the dismount, side aerial to layout full, and she sticks that landing as well.
That is such a potent weapon for Georgia to have Vega in the anchor position on beam and floor, and she delivers here.
Just beautiful gymnastics from top to bottom, sharp movements, clean, giving nothing away.
While that routine was going on, we had a new career high 9.95 for Andrea Maldonado. It's the second 9.95 for Iowa State today. And now, in the anchor position, Anna Palacios.
Starting off with a good double pike, just flirting with the out of bounds line there, but I believe that she stayed in, avoiding that 1/10 of a point deduction. Front layout to front full. Nice leap series, reaching that full split position. That was called an illusion turn. Setting up now for her final tumbling pass. And it's a front Rudy from just a punch, no front handspring. That'll be a good, clean routine for this team to finish off with on the floor.
We could probably add at least a 1/10 or so to the 49-2 that Iowa State's already sitting on. They'll get to drop a 9-7, replacing with the score from Palacios. And we're going to have an exhibition routine on floor before we send you to a break. It's going to be Laura Burns for Iowa State as soon as we get the final score in from Palacios. Georgia, meanwhile, a 147.875 after a 49.4 on beam. That is their high beam score of the season. That's an event where we've seen, Sarah, even some of the great Georgia teams over the last few decades. It seems like beam is always the last event to come around. Georgia has, right out of the gate, started with a 49.2, and they haven't looked back on beam this season.
Balance beam is the make or break event for every team. It's always the one that generates the most nerves and maybe the most doubt, but Georgia, you can tell, just working really hard to have sharp movements, show the confidence they have on this event early in the season, and hopefully that will only build as we get towards postseason.
Iowa State also a season high on floors. You get a look at the beam scores there from Georgia. The big numbers coming from Bauman and Vega in those 5 and 6 spots. Iowa State put together their best floor rotation of the season. Still waiting on the score to come in from Palacios, but even if she's unable to add to the scores you see there, that's already a 49-2, highlighted by the 9.95 from Andrea Maldonado. So here is Laura Burns.
Setting up her routine with a double tuck to start. One and a half to punch layout to stag leap. A little bit low on that layout to get some more amplitude. It's great to see her getting some to be able to perform on floor and get some experience. This team is full of depth. The coach said that this is the most depth that he's seen on a team in a long time. He loves the potential that they have, and the fact that they're able to exhibition and even warm up even 8 to 9 deep is a great thing for this team.
And Burns is a senior who has gone 9.875 in her career, so she's got talent, and that shows you that it's not just a coach saying we have depth, they really do.
Setting up for her final pass. And it's a double pike. A little bit short on the landing. Still working on that endurance. But great to get a routine out on the floor for her.
With that, 3 rotations are in the books. We'll be back with the 4th and final rotation from Stegman Coliseum when we continue. Georgia extending their lead, but Andrea Maldonado and a career-high 9.95, keeping it close for the visiting Cyclones here on the road. Scores through 3 rotations, Georgia in the lead by just over 3/10, 147.875 for the Gym Dogs, 147.550 for Iowa State, as both of these teams stand poised to post season highs this afternoon. Now they're lighting up Stegman Coliseum as we take a look at the current national rankings in week 3. There's a look at your top 10 in Oklahoma, just clear of the field right now by more than half a point. They went over 198 last week, Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa. So you get a look at the rest of the top 10 behind them. The SEC always well represented there. And here's our 2 competitors today. Iowa State 13, their highest ranking since the 07 season, and Georgia preseason number 8 in the country, down to number 18 after that low opening score at the Critique Classic. I'm Kevin Kopp alongside former Gym Dog Sarah Persinger Sailors. Sarah, both of these teams much improved from where their current rankings are, and if they could post these kinds of numbers, I think we could see both of these teams in the top 10 by the end of the season.
Exactly, and what they need to do to be able to reach that point is to not count falls on any event, which is something that they have both had to do in these first couple of weeks of competition. Haven't seen a fall counted yet today, so hopefully we'll go into this last rotation and they'll be able to keep that momentum.
Well, let's take a look at some of the big storylines from around the country through the first 2 weeks of the season. We've talked about Oklahoma. They're the defending national champions, and they look poised to repeat here in 2020. LSU has been a bridesmaid 4 of the last 6 seasons, still trying to get over the hump for that first national championship in program history. And UCLA currently spotting a number 3 ranking. They've got a new head coach in Chris Waller taking over for the legend Val Condos Field. Sarah, LSU, we got to see them here in Stegman Coliseum last week. Just feels like they're not clicking on all cylinders right now.
Well, you know, they lost that incredible senior class, and Juliana Kenamella, Sarah Fittigan, McKenna Kelly, and Lexi Priestman, they accounted for so many routines in their lineup, and they were star performers, surpassing that 9-9 mark on almost all 4 events. And so the freshmen are really having to come in, the underclassmen, and fill that void. I think they're doing a nice job, and they'll have to keep working at it throughout the season. We'll see where they end up in postseason at the end of 2020.
Yeah, it's still early, but we know how quick Fort Worth can get here. These are 2 teams that have their eyes set on the NCAA championships and both looking like it right now. Georgia in the lead as we get ready to head to the 4th rotation at Stegman Coliseum. Weekend in SEC gymnastics, Kentucky taking on Arkansas Friday at 7 Eastern on the SEC Network. Big top 10 matchup. LSU, Florida in the Swamp on ESPN2, and then Missouri and Auburn will meet up in the late contest on Friday evening. How about this, though? Metroplex. I know Georgia's got a number 18 ranking next to their name. That's a little artificially low right now because they're carrying that score from Kissimmee. That field is absolutely loaded in Fort Worth, Texas.
No doubt about it. We've got 3 teams in the top 5, each coming off of great starts to their season. Oklahoma just absolutely stacked with talent. This will be a great opportunity for 4 teams to get up on the podium, which is something that they'll have to get used to before postseason, and try to put together a great meet.
Yeah, that's a potential NCAA championship field right there. That could be your 4 on the floor. As we get a look at the Iowa State beam lineup going to the 4th rotation here. Iowa State's got a great meet going. They're going to try to continue with Sophia Steinmeier in the leadoff spot, followed by Phoebe Turner, Laura Burns, Maishi Semple, Anna Palacios, and Sydney Converse in the anchor position. Now here is Steinmeier, who has a season-best 9.825. That was on the road at Arizona. That's also a career-high mark for Steinmeier. Just an extra moment or 2 here as Steinmeier waits for her official go-ahead from the judges. So look at Jay Renane in his 14th season. He was incredibly confident, a little bit frustrated, I think, with his team's performance in the first 2 weeks, scoring below a 196, and we've seen much closer to what this team is capable of here today. And now Steinmeier ready to lead things off on beam.
Starting with a nice, clean, full turn, getting that required element out of the way early. And it's a front toss to a beat jump. Setting up here for her acrobatic series. Back handspring layout. Just a small balance check, but holds it together nicely. Switch leap to split half. You know, it can be equally frustrating to the gymnasts as the coaches when they know their potential and they know what they're capable of as a team and not being able to quite reach that point yet. So doing a nice job here today, putting together full lineups, finishing here with a 1.5 dismount, and she found that landing. A great way to start off this Iowa State beam lineup.
Well, and part of the key, it kind of goes without saying, but if you're going to post big scores, you need big leadoff numbers, and both teams have done an excellent job of that today. Steinmeier continues it here. Now over to floor, Alyssa Perez-Lugonis will try to do the same for Georgia. The rest of the lineup there, Michaela McGee, Rachel Bauman, Soraya Hawthorne, Rachel Lucas, and Sabrina Vega. You got 5 underclassmen and then the senior Vega to bring it home.
We saw how well Iowa State performed their floor routines, just a lot of personality and character. This is something that this Georgia floor lineup brings as well. Starting off with a double pike. Large step back into a lunge, but a lot more controlled than what we saw from her last week. Setting up second pass. Round off half to punch layout. A nice simple pass, but sometimes those clean passes are what you want to see in college gymnastics. It's not always about throwing the huge skills, but who can do the skills the cleanest. switch half to straddle full to wolf full. Finishing her routine with a huge double tuck and a great landing. A much cleaner routine than what we've seen from her. She's really starting to come into her own, I think.
I think she's happy about that one. I don't want to say she struggled on this event because it's been back-to-back 9.7s. It's not that there's been anything catastrophic, but certainly not what she showed that she was capable of after a great freshman year. I think this was a little bit closer.
You can see her having to control all of that power that she has. She gets so much height on her tumbling and has to really fight for those landings. She did a great job here.
Over to beam now as the opening score comes up, a 9.775 from Sophia Steinmeier. Here is Phoebe Turner.
Working her way all the way to the edge of the balance beam to set up for her acrobatic series. Back handspring, roll out, step out, and she took every inch of that balance beam. A solid series to start out her routine. Beautiful leaps. Nice full turn, dancing out of her elements. One thing that you want to look for on the balance beam is that the gymnasts keep the movements fluid. You don't ever want to see the gymnast stop and then start again. She's doing a nice job of that here with a beautiful side summy. And finishing with a gainer dismount off the end. Has to take a hop forward, but a good routine in the second spot for Iowa State.
You know, Turner had a fall on Friday night. Remember, this is the second competition of the weekend for Iowa State, so you get a chance to kind of bounce back instantly, and credit to Turner for doing just that. Also remember that this team competed at home on Friday night in Ames, had Saturday off, walked through Sunday, got on a plane from Des Moines to Atlanta, and is competing here on Monday afternoon, and they have not shown any kind of fatigue. They have been great here on the road.
Just goes to show you how much college gymnastics is a mental sport as much as it is a physical sport. Handling it really well here today.
Here is Michaela McGee after the 9.85 from Melissa Perez-Lugones.
Opening up with a piked full in and a beautiful landing. The crowd likes that one. Nice leap series. Talking with the coaches before today's meet, they said that this team is really putting in a lot of effort on floor routines this year. They come together and there is a different coach on floor every day, but they really are taking it very seriously. You can tell in these dance elements and then the power tumbling that the work is really paying off.
And we should note that Georgia has welcomed back one of the great alums in program history in Katie Heenan-Dodson, who was as good as they come on floor exercise. So that's going to help you with your floor performances, just having her in the building.
And it's a huge double pike, finding those landings and building that confidence. That smile says it all. She starts off her routine with a huge E-pass, piked full in, working to get those ankles together so she can give away no deductions, and finishing off with a beautiful double pike. It's a strong routine.
Good to 1-2 punch from the sophomores Perez, Lugones, and McGee to get Georgia started. Over on beam now, Laura Burns.
To start off her routine. This is a gymnast who really showcases her artistry. Switch leap, small break there before the switch jump to straddle half. That's what we're talking about. You want to always have those fluid movements. Had a small break there that'll cause a little bit of a deduction. Back handspring layout series, solid. Finishing with a round off 1.5 dismount, just a tiny hop to the side, but able to keep her composure throughout that routine. You can see her coming right over the top, a little bit of legs, a little bit of toes, but a nice solid landing on that acrobatic series. Same thing on the dismount, just a small hop sideways, a few things that she can improve on in the gym.
Meanwhile, over on the Georgia side, Michaela McGee's score coming in now 9.875. So the Gym Dogs are 2 for 2 in career highs from Perez, Lagonis, and McGee. Bauman trying to make it 3 for 3.
Bauman starting off with a double wolf turn. You'll notice in this routine she does less tumbling and more dance elements. Really gets her credit with the unique dance elements that she does. It has super clean and powerful tumbling as well. Another turn combination into a leap series. Really strutting her stuff and getting this Stegman crowd into the floor routine. Round up back handspring, double pike. A little bit short on that last landing. Just ran out of gas. But a beautiful switch ring to switch side. She sold that routine to the very end, but she'll want to take back that small mistake on the double pike. Just didn't get her chest up on the landing. Had to take a big step forward.
And that's the first real hiccup for Georgia in some time here. They had knocked it out at the end of the beam rotation and started off floor in fine form. So we'll see how that back half of the floor lineup can respond. Meanwhile, also a little bit of an issue for Iowa State as Laura Burns, you talked about it, Sarah, not getting that connection bonus, the little hitch in her leap series. So that routine started out of a 9.8. That's the low number right now. So Meishi Semple trying to get Iowa State back on track.
Right off the top of her routine, beginning with her back handspring layout series, and it's a solid start. Full turn, just a small balance check. Switch leap to switch half, not quite a full split. We'll see what the judges do there, whether they give that leap credit. Finishing with a side aerial to back full dismount, small hop on the landing. You can see the big smile. She's happy to have stayed on the apparatus. Starting off solid here with that back handspring layout series. And finishing side aerial to a layout full. Just that tiny hop, but happy with the routine.
Over to floor now for Georgia. Freshman Soraya Hawthorne up fourth.
Coach Kupets Carter says that Soraya has a smile that will just light up any room. You can see it on display here, especially after that sky-high double pike with a great landing, nice and controlled. freshman bringing big attitude to this floor lineup with a beautiful torjete full to split full.
And she just gets so much power in every aspect of it. Even those leaps are so high. It's great to watch.
Second tumbling pass, front layout to Rudy. Nice sky-high split leap. Again, trying to minimize those landing deductions. This is something that's become really popular in NCAA gymnastics, dancing out of tumbling passes or doing a leap out of tumbling passes so that you don't have to go for that solid stick. Finishing the routine with a double tuck. Just a little bit short on that landing as well, but a great routine all around for Soraya.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row for Georgia where it looks like everything is clicking on all cylinders, and then just a little run out of steam at the end, but boy, look at how she started.
Beautiful control on that middle pass. Nice high split leap, and the double tuck at the end, you can see her chest just didn't get quite high enough on the landing, had to take that step forward.
We will return to beam now. 2 routines left in competition. 9.825 from Meishi Semple. And to get the Cyclones back on track here, this is Anna Palacios.
Starting with a side aerial to back handspring. Able to hold on, but just a little bit off center. Another unique acro series that you don't see very often. Switch leap to split half. Side aerial to back full dismount. A few little balance checks, tiny mistakes in that routine, but Iowa State will be happy to have another hit routine under their belt. You can see her on this side aerial back handspring, just way off, but able to pull it up nicely, and then finishing with the side aerial to lay out full dismount. Just the tiniest of hops, but she's happy to have stayed on the beam.
2 routines left now for Georgia. We'll begin with Rachel Lucas, who is part of that 3 straight 9.95s last week in the final rotation against LSU, and Georgia posted a gaudy 49.550 on floor.
Starting off with a nice double layout, showcasing that power that she has. She's been working hard on the technique of that double layout in the gym, really getting rise in her hips and squeezing those legs together, leaving no room for deduction. Combination middle pass, 1.5 to front half to Shushanova.
Remember, we talked about it earlier. Georgia's doing all of this season without their senior all-arounder, Rachel Dixon, suffered a season-ending Achilles injury. And part of what Courtney Kupats-Carter said was, obviously, there's a leadership void when you lose a senior, even though Dixon is with the team and helping out in that role. She cited Rachel Lucas as someone who has stepped into a leadership role as well, just a sophomore, but that's the other dimension she brings to this team.
Finishing up her floor exercise with a double pike, and she nails that landing. She planted those feet and said, they aren't moving.
Great routine from Lucas. There is one that certainly did not run out of steam for the Gym Dogs. She brought it throughout.
That 1.5 to front half, and big Shushanova. Travel back a little bit. She'll be looking to get that height on the Shushanova later in the season. But finishing with this huge double pike, planting those feet on the ground. She's really happy with that one.
Georgia still looking for their first 9.9 of the afternoon on floor. May have just gotten it from Lucas, as we'll finish off competition for Iowa State with Sydney Converse.
Nice solid back handspring layout to finish. her first series on beam. Love the height that she gets on her jumps. Doesn't play it safe at all, just really goes for it. Front toss to beat jump. Cartwheel to 1.5 dismount. Small hop back on the landing, but that's what you want to see from your senior in the anchor position.
And Converse also grew up 50 miles west of Athens on Route 78, right in Stone Mountain. So to come back here in front of her friends and family in Stegman, she had a great day overall today as well for Iowa State. Cyclones were excellent top to bottom. You see there, Rachel Lucas did indeed score a 9.9 for Georgia, and so now the table is set for the senior, Sabrina Vega.
Now you talk about a performer. I don't know that it gets much better than Sabrina Vega on floor exercise. She's actually on the ESPN Ones to Watch for routines that could go viral in 2020. Starting off her routine with a double pike, looking to upgrade that to a full in later in the season. Coach Kupets Carter said that's ready to go in whenever she's ready. They just don't want to push it too soon in the season. Make sure that she's healthy all the way through championships. Second pass, a 1.5 to front layout to split jump. Showcasing her flexibility and power with that leap. Beautiful tour jeté 1.5. This is one of those routines that you just sit back and enjoy because you know every time you're going to get a beautiful performance. Looking to nail that last landing. Sky high double tuck, and she does it. Finishes great for the gym dogs on the floor.
Now the senior, justly deserved, gets the biggest ovation of the day from this Stegman crowd for this final routine, and she did it once again.
Capping off this floor rotation, huge double tuck. She's thrilled with that routine.
Yeah, it is a treat every time we get to see it. Sabrina Vega finishing up on floor, and now an exhibition over on beam. Andrea Maldonado. She's going to have to deal with some applause here as the scores come up for Vega.
Starting nicely though with a punch front, and if you're going to exhibition in an away arena, maybe the best way to do it is when the crowd is erupting. Just really get as much experience as you can all at once. Beautiful back handspring layout series.
And there is the number that deserved the applause. Vega 9.95. As Georgia adds a few tenths to their season high score.
Beautiful leap series. Setting up here for her dismount, and it's a round off 2.5 twist. Really showcasing a lot of difficulty here.
I think that's going to be a big weapon for Iowa State. Once she gets the numbers and gets into that beam lineup, Maldonado has really impressed. Remember, she had a 9.95 for Iowa State on floor. And before we wrap things up, we've got one more exhibition over on floor for the Gym Dogs. Here is Sterling Austin. And you can see those scores in the bottom right corner have now gone final with the last competition routines in there. Georgia over 197 for the first time this year. Iowa State over 196. They shatter their season high and then some.
starting off with a gigantic full in and a nearly stuck landing. This routine is just for fun, kind of the cherry on top of this Georgia Gym Dog win today.
Austin hasn't broken into the competition lineup yet, sophomore out of Thomasville, Georgia, but she's got the skills to be able to do so, no doubt.
And such a fun personality. Really going all out with her choreography. Front full to punch layout. Setting up for her last pass. And it's a double tuck. And maybe that is where she's just not quite ready to break into the lineup. Some endurance issues. A little short on that double tuck, but good to get a routine out on the floor today.
So that will wrap up our competition. We're going to take a break and come back to give you all the highlights from this one, and there were plenty, as Georgia gets the win and a season high. Sabrina Vega capping it off on floor with a 9.95. We're back in a moment to Stegman Coliseum. Welcome back to Stegman Coliseum. Finishing touches of this top 20 matchup. It's a clean sweep for Georgia as they took every event en route to a 197-325 and a victory over the 13th ranked Iowa State Cyclones. Kevin Kopp, Sarah Persinger Sailors with you. Sarah, it's a win for Georgia today, but I really think 2 wins for both of these teams. They get season-high scores. I think Iowa State will take a lot of confidence with them, as will Georgia, who finally put together a complete meet.
Absolutely. Iowa State came in looking for 24 for 24 routines. They went 23 for 24 with just 1 mistake on bars, so they'll be really happy to go back into the gym with that. Georgia wanted to come in and put together a complete meet, not count any mistakes, and they did just that. And I think this is the momentum builder that they needed to really get their season back on track. Absolutely.
Both of these teams got off to a great start, didn't look back. As we go through the highlights today, we will begin on bars for Iowa State. This really set the tone for the Cyclones coming out on the road.
Just impeccable form, really showcasing some difficulty, and sticking landings was the story of the day.
Georgia got off to a bit of a slow start on bars, and this was the routine that really turned it around, a 9.925 for Megan Roberts.
Again, sticking those landings, that's what you need to see to really break into that top 10 that both teams are looking for.
Some huge scores from Iowa State, including a 9.95 here from Michaela Maxwell.
That 10.0 start value vault, she found that landing and was pumped about that.
Georgia had their best routines in the back half of this meet, beginning on beam with Rachel Bauman.
Showcasing confidence and just not giving anything away to the judges. Clean routine, stuck landings.
Then on floor exercise, Iowa State has Andrea Maldonado. What a weapon this is in their lineup.
Just incredible difficulty to see in NCAA competition. She really put on a show on floor for us tonight.
And this is the ultimate weapon for Georgia. When you've got Sabrina Vega going at home, the last routine of the day, you know it always has a chance to go big, and she did.
And she only has the potential to get even better as the season goes on.
Now Vega capped things off with a 9.95. Georgia 49.450 on floor and over a 197 for the first time. Here's a look at the individual winners. Both teams well represented here. Michaela Maxwell's career-high 9.95 gives her the vault title. On bars, 3 9.925s from Natalia Russ-Vaquer. Marissa Roberts and Marissa Oakley, Megan Roberts and Marissa Oakley. On floor, Maldonado and Vega each with 9.95s. And then Rachel Bauman, a 9.925. You got season highs going all around. Rachel Lucas with a number of 39.175 to take the all around today. Just great performances start to finish. And the names that you would expect to carry their teams did.
Absolutely. And those names are carrying their teams, but the underclassmen really showed great today, and I think that as they improve throughout the season and going into their next few years, these teams will be two to watch.
It was a good one from start to finish today as Georgia gets the win and goes 197-325. For my partner, Sarah Persinger Sailors, I'm Kevin Kopp saying so long from Stegman Coliseum, where the Gym Dogs take the win with a season-high score. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.